Hello guys, in this lecture let us see what are exceptions and how to handle exceptions in Python. So let me create one more Python file. This is easy topic, exceptions. Right, so there are two ways that you can explicitly throw an error if you think a condition is not met. Now for example, you are automating a website where items in cart are currently 0. So when you land on the page, you did not add any items in the cart. So you have written some automation code which will make two items to click and add to cart. Okay, two items will be added to cart. So your automation code basically will select the products, and now you would see the cart two items. Now you need to put one condition that, so how many items should be in cart? Now it should be 2, right? Because your automation added 2. But if they are not 2, you should tell your script to stop and fail. How do you do that? There are two ways of doing it. So let me write a condition that if items in cart, after we perform some operation, is not equals to 2. Okay, so obviously in this case it's not equals to 2 because there is no code written to select the products. Then we should explicitly tell raise, you see that keyword, raise exception, and here you can pass the information of what you want to give so that error will be thrown and the message what you write inside will get printed in the output, and your test case also will fail simultaneously. Okay, so this is a good way to fail the test and know the reason why this is happening. So you can write products cart count not matching. Okay, right. So let's run this test. This is simple test. We are seeing one condition, and if that doesn't meet, your test should fail. Okay, you see that your test case failed because you clearly told that if items in cart is not equals to 2. Obviously it's not equals to 2 because we did not write any code, and then we told to raise exception. These are the keywords. Okay, so these keywords will understand that there is something wrong and it would throw up an exception, and in the error message you can see that products cart count not matching. Okay, so this is how you can raise and fail your test. There is another way of doing this that we have called as assertion. So that's a famous one. I hope most of you know what is an assertion if you have any touch in automation world. So assertion is also one way to have some condition and fail if you do not meet that condition. Okay, let's see. Let's comment out this, and right, so I'll just write pass so that this if condition does nothing. Okay, when you give a keyword called pass, it will go inside even if it's not equals to 0, but it does nothing because we commented this code now. So I want to show another way, assert. So this is a method available in Python where it expects a condition. The condition should always be true. If condition is not true, then your test will fail. Okay, so here our condition is that as we have added two items in the cart using our automation code, then we can say items in cart equals to 2. So we are saying that it should match with 2. So this assert expects condition, and it also expects that the condition should return true. But in our case, this variable is not equals to 2, so this condition return false. Whenever assert method receives a false condition, then it will break your test. Okay, let's see. Now I have commented out this exception, right? So this test now will run using assert. You see that assertion error. Your test case failed because the condition did not meet. Now if you put 0, you will not see any error. Perfect. Process finished with exit code 0. When you see exit code 0, that means there are no failures. Okay. So this is how you can explicitly fail the test when you think that condition is not met. You can do this either with raise exception or assertion. These two are important topics when you are dealing with test automation frameworks, because our whole goal is to fail the test when our expected conditions are not met. Okay, so when we are doing automation lectures, we would use this heavily. Either you can go with assertion or raise exception, but these are mandatory to use to validate the test scenarios. Okay, so that's about exceptions to fail, but there are some more like try catch mechanism which I would be talking in my next lecture. Thank you.